A gorgeous day to you all, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ronald Malaba talking on Campus Live Television. Here with me is the guest. Can you please introduce yourself?
Well, a good day to you, Zimbabwe, and thank you so much for welcoming me to the show. The name is Takunda Chikomo, and I am an author. I'm also a student at the University of Zimbabwe.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Takunda Chikomo. Well, today we are going to be discussing on goal attainment, where we'll be looking at how do other people achieve while others they don't. Before we step into the main effect, can you please tell me like your experiences, like when you stepped into the University of Zimbabwe, like how have you been adapting to the new environment?
Well, to begin with, I will be honest with you, bro. It's not easy coming into university. All the expectations that we have, it's so shocking to find out that the information that we thought we'd get, the things that we were expecting when we got to college, it's totally different. It's nothing as we have expected. But us being people and me being me, we have adjusted to the situation. We've made peace, we have made amends with the situation. And truly speaking, we have adapted ourselves to the environment. I speak in the plural sense because I noticed that everyone is enjoying, no one is complaining about the situation in school and the college. So yeah, we've made our peace with the situation and we've adapted ourselves. As people, we adapt.
Okay, so in other words, you're saying that you are happy like with the new atmosphere at university?
Most satisfied with university life.
Okay, are there other aspects that you've been finding like so funny here at University of Zimbabwe? It's just the same as from high school up to university, or there is a difference between, like, can you distinguish the difference?
Most definitely there is a difference. Most definitely there is a difference from the way that we have to change our timetables, from the way that we have to change the way that we study, to the way that we have to adapt to new environments, as to how we interact with people. I mean, come to think of it, we are now adults, so things have changed. We have made amends. There is definitely a difference between high school and college.
Wow, thank you so much. Well, that was Mr. Chikomo telling us about his experiences so far at the University of Zimbabwe, and he says that he's finding like it's so fascinating and funny. Well, I'm happy to hear. Well, moving on to the main effect. So, how do we explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when other people are able to achieve things with the final of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Like, you see, they are so innovative than all of their competition. Like, they have access to the same media, to the same principles, but then why do they seem to have something different? Can we say that is the way it is?
Well, we cannot run away from the obvious truth and fact that as people, we are blessed differently. As people, our opportunities, they come at different times. So I believe that as individuals, it would be selfish of us to want to be successful or to want to attain our goals at the same time as everyone else. I strongly believe that the fact that someone has achieved before you have, it's not a reason enough for you to be envious of them. Time will tell whether you're going to reach your goals, because at the end of the day, it's all a matter of people as people achieving our goals at certain times.
Wow, that is so impressive. So, like, do you think, like, how you view yourself or how you think about yourself can contribute to personal achievement?
Yeah, I strongly believe in self-affirmation. I strongly believe that as human beings, we need to continuously remind ourselves of who we are. Like, take for me, for example, I continuously remind myself that I'm here to annihilate the status quo, where I believe that the situation that I have found my environment in, when I live it, it should have been different. So I tell myself that I'm here to make changes. I'm here to make amends. I'm here to leave the situation improved that I have found it. So that's me telling myself that I can do it. That's me affirming with myself that I can do it. I'm able to make changes. So people, in making changes and affirmations, it is an affirmation within yourself, and you believing it within yourself, it shows on the outside. And then when it shows on the outside, that's where we have progress and growth, and that's where we have people attaining goals where we see people who do not believe in themselves, they don't seem to do much, they seem to be going the negative way.
Wow. So, do you have achieved, what have you achieved so far in life? Like, do you have like great accomplishments?
Well, I find that question to be very funny because it leads me to ask what really is success, or what can you call achievement? So for me, it's always a case of continual attainment of goals, where I see myself, well, currently I wrote my first book when I was 18, my first book, which is entitled Curtains, an Anthology of Poems by Takunda Chikomo. I must admit, for me that is a great achievement. Being a young author, especially in this environment where poetry is not much appreciated, especially in publication. So I see that as an achievement. But me seeing it as an achievement, I don't see it as a stop, as a hindrance for me to achieve more goals. That's why I'm working on my third project, which is another book. So achievement-wise, I have made achievements, but it's always a case of me continuously pushing myself to achieve more, because as human beings, we don't have to be content with the status quo. We just have to annihilate it. We just have to grow and see more and discover more within ourselves, because the human being is supposed to be, we don't have to feel content within the current situation. We need to always continuously seek improvement. So yeah, I do believe that I have achieved, but I haven't reached that mark where I believe that I need to be.
Okay, so what can you say like to Zimbabwe? What do you want to say to Zimbabwe, like for people who are trying to make it but things get tough, they fall, every time they try to put things together, it seems they fall down.
You know, it sounds cliche that what I'm about to say, but it's the obvious truth. When things get tough, as human beings, I know we fall down, but we have to pick ourselves up. That is a cliche. Everywhere you go, people will tell you that when you fell down, pick yourself up and stuff and stuff and stuff. It is cliche, but it can never go any further from such truths. It's the simple fact, it's the simple truth. As human beings, we need to, as people, I've felt so many times. You know, I always argue with myself when people say that I'm a successful author. Yes, I am successful. I do appreciate that. But the question is, how do you interpret success? What do you call success? I've failed so many times. I've made so many mistakes prior to me publishing my two books. But those are not the things that people see. The things that people see are the fruits. They now see this book well designed, looking so pretty and looking so attractive. But there's so much pain that has been put. Me going to publishers who've stolen money from me, promising to publish my book. Me making investments to which some of the money I never recovered. Those are some of the things that I have to face. So that's me in my downfall. But when I pick myself up, I make sure that I show people the benefits. I make sure that I do what makes me happy, because at the end of the day, I write because I love it. I do this because I'm passionate about it. So that's where it stands. That's where my success story is, and why I believe that when we fall down, as people, we need to pick ourselves up.
Okay, that's so great. So I heard you speaking like about your third project. How are you working on it, and what is it all about? What is it gonna be about? Is it gonna fascinate the audience, or it's just something you're just doing for yourself, or what's it?
Well, it's a case of me addressing the conventional belief. I believe that as an author, people expect me to write within the conventional beliefs of what society says, of what is expected of us as authors to write. If I am to write about poetry, I'm going to write poetry that is, usually people, when they hear poetry, they think of love, they think of sadness and melancholy, they think of all those kind of things. But in my third book, which will be published in March 2020, I'm going to deliver a different point of view. I'm going to deliver a book which you will not expect from me. I'm going to deliver a book which is going to be different from what the conventional poet writes. Where me, I'm going to ask questions on, what is religion? What do you call love? What is the difference between the truth in what we see and what we think is the truth? What entails what is supposed to be? These are the questions that I'm going to address. These are the questions that I'm going to ask. Questions that you cannot expect to just get to, you cannot expect simple science to explain or simple religion. Because I struggle and I grapple with the belief that as human beings we just have to believe in the convention. Why can we not defy the odds? Why can't I as a poet write about poetry that defies what people think? Why can't I ask you questions in ambiguity? These are all the issues that I'm going to address in my third book. And trust me, it's going to be lovely. Even I myself, I can't contain myself within the excitement. So basically that's the overview. That's the overview.
Wow, that was so astroclonosis. Now back to you, Zimbabwe. I think you have learned something from Mr. Chikomo. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Chikomo.
It's been a pleasure, Mr. Ndlovu.
Thank you so much. So like, I have learned something new. Like he will say that whenever you fail, whenever you fall down, you should learn something new. You have learned how not to do something. Well then, learn from it and leave what's behind, then press forward. That's the only way you're gonna achieve your goals. Well, thank you so much, Zimbabwe. This is the end of our show. Don't forget to subscribe.